It's Yahk!
And we're back after...
Been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Holidays kind of kicked us in the teeth, but, you know, whatever. We're making sugar cookies. Ain't nothing sexier than a man cleaning up his mess. My mess.
False.
Mess.
The sexiest thing in existence is a naked woman.
You're not going to see that. So, I'm an idiot. Rule number 1 of baking. Always have room temperature ingredients. I did not do that.
Did not do that.
I did not do that. I just want the recipe, guys. Don't need your life story. So we have butter, sugar. Do we have vanilla?
We always have vanilla.
I don't think so.
Yes, we do. What do you think I put in the cream?
I don't know.
I put one in the cream.
Oh, cool. What's that one up there? Blueberry? Maple.
No, pumpkin spice.
Oh. Well, it says vanilla extract and almond extract. Well, we'll just omit the almond extract and pumpkin in it. No pumpkin in it. It's not going to be much.
Okay.
Can you grab both of those, please? Do we have eggs?
Eggs?
I think we have eggs. Oh, we're the worst cooks ever. What happened? Why are there... Somebody please explain this to me. What is this going on? What are you doing? Get off my counter! Somebody explain this to me!
I was making eggs.
So why wouldn't you throw the shells in the trash?
Because how I was raised is you put them back in there and throw them away all at once.
Ew! No! No!
I bet you there's plenty of other people who do it.
Oh, I guess we're about to find out. Now everything's all sticky.
That's why you just throw it away at once. You don't stick your hands back in there and grab them.
Alright, so nothing's at room temperature, so I suck. We have salt, and we have flour.
Indeed.
And we need baking powder, not baking soda, so I'm going to put the baking soda up. That was wet and cold. Again, my bad. Alright, so when you are baking, now I kind of sort of did a little dabbing in baking and making cakes and all of that. If you guys want, I can put my business page in so you guys can see all the cool stuff that I made. Like that really awesome Pokemon cake that I made. But when you're baking, you always want to have room temperature baking supplies. Even the eggs. However many eggs you need, just leave them out. Like, depending on how cool it is. Like, because it's winter right now, you're probably going to want to leave them out a little longer than you would in the summer because it's colder. Most people keep their houses colder as well in the winter. And the reason why that is because the colder things are, the more solid they are. And if you're not careful and you're making this really nice, pretty batter, whether it be for cookies or cakes or pie, whatever, and then you throw in, say you have butter, right? And you throw in something cold, it's going to seize. Because it's going to make the butter go from this nice, airy thing to a solid thing of butter again. Sometimes, some recipes, like, sometimes with biscuits, you want cold butter because you want it to be more crumbly.
Okay.
But when you're making cookies, you don't. So, I suck, and those eggs are too cold. But there's a way you can do it. Some people like to think that you can just stick butter in the microwave and soften it. Yes, you can, but you have to be really, really careful about it because there's a very fine line between soft and melting. And if you're not careful, you get melting, and then it goes from being a wet solid-ish to liquid, and you don't want that. So we need a whole cup, just 2 sticks of butter. That's a lot of butter. You want to put that one away? Yes, in the fridge. Whoa! I feel like we should have some music playing, but it needs to be
Can't you edit it in?
Yeah, but I don't like those ones that they always give me the options of using. Sometimes I want to have like some actual music playing. It kind of helps me focus. So, what are you doing? Why are you oofing?
I'm looking at my.
Oh, okay. I thought you were looking at something else in the freezer. We don't have a
Oh.
water bottle anymore, though. Threw it away yesterday, sorry.
Oh no!
Apparently has this really, I don't want to say cool, but he's a sailor, so I guess normal thing? I don't want to know. Anyways, alright, can I get...
I can drink like 6 shots at once.
That's not scary at all, guys. But let's be honest, neither of us really drinks that often.
I don't like drinking. I actually majorly dislike drinking.
Same.
I don't like the feeling. I don't like what it does to my head. I don't like any of it.
If you are going to drink responsibly, people.
Says me, the guy who does not drink responsibly.
It means don't drink and drive, fam.
No, that's different.
That's drinking responsibly. Drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive.
Yeah, what drink responsibly is don't knock back 6 shots at once as if it's one drink.
I mean, partially. I'll give you that. But also drinking responsibly is, okay, not what you used to do in Japan. Drinking responsibly is what we did on New Year's, where we drank at home and we didn't go anywhere. And we were careful.
And I didn't die of alcohol poisoning.
Because I wouldn't let him. Because we've already agreed you are not allowed to die first. Even though the chances of it, pretty high.
I'm probably gonna die first.
Can you not? Alright. So we are using, so I really like the McCormick brand. We're using McCormick Pumpkin Pie Spice.
Sponsors!
And McCormick Pure Vanilla. Okay. We need hot water. So you get a cup. This is my big cup that I have.
It's a thick boy.
Pour water in it. It's gotta be hot water. And kind of let it sit for a minute. Ah, fucking put it over top it. And basically the heat transference and science and stuff. Make sure you heat it up.
Put it in a hot spot, and it shall become hot.
Basically, yeah. That's why I keep you around, honey. Now, there's this. So I don't generally like this one, the one that has the little rubber piece on it. But you can't go wrong with, you know, a regular standard KitchenAid stand mixer, whatever. Big deal here, guys. First things first. When you're baking, you have different types of measuring cups. So, when you measure things, these are for dry ingredients only. You're not really supposed to do liquids, so like your water and things like that. You have the little glass measuring cup that most people have. That is for liquid. I unfortunately do not have one of those. So this is a heaping thing of sugar. You do not want heaping. So what you generally do, that is what you want. See how nice and level it is. No kitchen is complete without tons of rubber spatulas. These are the best. I love these. These are my favorite thing in the entire world. I have a minor problem. So you want to scrape this off. I don't emphasize enough how important it is to have warm butter. take one of these eggs. I'm gonna put it here. You don't want to leave it under too long because then you're just going to cook the egg, and we don't want cooked egg. We just want not cold egg. Okay, so we need 1 teaspoon vanilla and half a teaspoon, it says almond here, but again, we're going to use pumpkin. Because, why not?
Yeah.
So we want half of the pumpkin. The more you beat butter, the whiter it becomes. Like literally whiter. It becomes white.
Probably because it's getting whipped. Getting some air in that bitch.
Let me show you how you do this.
She's a smart ass.
With a nice ass. Always important to scrape your sides. So you can make sure everything is mixed evenly.
And please don't eat it out the bowl.
Yes, eat it out.
Don't. That's salmonella. There's a whole egg in there. And it ain't cooked. And you will only live once after you're done with it. You would have lived once after you're done with it.
Technically, you only die once. You live every day. So.
Yeah, but it goes from you only live once to, past tense. You only lived once.
She lived a good life. How did she die?
I'd rather not go have my life go into past tense.
Alright, it is nice and evenly beaten. So in here we're going to put the flour, the baking powder, and the salt. Can you grab the salt for me, love? Again, I have 3 whole cups of flour here, so I'm using my half cup, so 6 of these. In the world of baking, there are several which ways that you can do something as simple as get flour out of the container and put it into the bowl. There's the pour method, which is where you get a spoon and you just pour it into whatever measuring cup you have. That is usually when you want 3 cups, but like 3 light cups, if you will. There's sifted. Now you either measure out 3 cups and then sift it, or you sift out a bunch and then put 3 cups in with the spoon method, or I guess, yeah, with the spoon method. It really just depends on what the recipe says and how light and airy. The more you sift it, the more light and airy it's going to be, the less compact it's going to be, obviously. A lot of non-American places use ounces and grams and all that stuff, and they actually weigh it, which is honestly a better way to cook, to be honest. Just because weight is weight. 3 measuring cups can all be different. It can be 3 cups, but again, depending on how you pour it in or what you do, it's going to be different. Whereas weight is always the same. 3 pounds is 3 pounds. Or whatever. So then we're going to mix this together. I do not have a whisk. I do not have a whisk.
Could you throw it over in that machine again?
No, I need to keep it separate. Oh. So, generally you want to whisk this together, but since I don't have one, we're going to use a fork. The poor man's whisk. Or woman in this case. You just kind of want to get all of your solids together. Now, sugar is sometimes considered a solid, and sometimes it goes in. A lot of the times you're going to put it in with your liquids just because of how grainy it is. Now, if it's powdered sugar, you're usually going to put it in with your dry stuff. Just because of the consistency that it is. So, what you're going to want to do, I like to get just a regular measuring cup, and I kind of put a little in at a time as you're mixing. Part of the reason why you add in it a little at a time is because if you just go and pour this whole bucket in here, it's going to end up in your face and you're going to be covered in flour. And trust me, that's not fun. It's not easy to clean off either. Oh, this is a very dry cookie dough because it is perfect for like Christmas cookies and stuff. This is actually what I use all the time whenever the kids and I make Christmas cookies, which we didn't do this year, and I'm very sad about it, but hey, life goes on.
So how do we moisten it?
You don't.
You don't moisten it?
No, because you need it to be thick enough that you can roll it out and make the cookies and they don't fall apart. They stay in the shape that you use when you cut them, and then when you put them in the oven, they also stay in the shape, and they don't.
But what about like taste and texture?
It's gonna taste just fine.
Okay.
They'll be nice and I want to say moist because I hate that word.
I love moist cookies. So.
But yes, they won't be hard.
Okay. Or crumbly. Okay. So, I tend to like to use powdered sugar whenever I'm going to roll out, especially when I'm going to roll out cookies, but I don't have any powdered sugar, so we're going to do some flour. Now, you need to be careful with this because if you put too much flour down, then it will harden up the cookies. Generally, when you have cookie dough that is a little bit more on the wetter side, then you have to put it in the fridge and all of that stuff in order to get it to a point where you can, make cookies out of it. So you want to get this nice and flat. Usually you would use a rolling pin, but I do not have one. So I'm going to do something creative. Cut it and make it a pizza cookie, and then you cut it into the triangles, and then you dip the triangles into the chocolate.
Sort of. This is where we wait. So we will be back. Nothing?
Salmonella.
Tastes so good. Hey, I'm just evening the playing field a little bit. Makes you less likely to die first. Take what I can get.